Welcome back to Kung Fu Maintenance, where I show you how to make the most likely repairs you'll need to make in your lifetime. If you'd like to get the latest videos, subscribe and then hit the little bell icon right at the subscribe button, and it'll notify you of any new videos when they're released for you.
Welcome back to Kung Fu Maintenance. Well, got a microwave repair for you. The microwave, this one had no power to the display, no power to the lights, and nothing going on. Microwaves are one of the most dangerous things you can work on. They can hold between 4 and 20,000 volts, depending on the microwave. Can be pretty dangerous. They're like a television or an air conditioner in that they have a capacitor that stores a charge even after the power is disconnected. I'll show you that here in a minute. I've got the microwave unplugged, but when I use my non-contact voltage detector, you can see we still have voltage. And so that's why these are much more dangerous. In fact, many microwaves will have special screws that not just anyone can get into. So, you want to deter it for safety. It's not really worth messing around with these unless you absolutely know what you're doing. Don't touch anything unless you know exactly what you're doing. It's very dangerous. I'll put a link in the description to some insulated gloves for working with electrical work that can make something like this a bit safer. Again, it's still very dangerous, and you can see this one's unplugged, but we still definitely have voltage going through there. What makes this even more complicated is the position of the capacitor on this one. It's got a high voltage capacitor, but the capacitor is all the way at the back of the machine. So in order to discharge it, you have to discharge from the neutral to the chassis ground of the machine. But getting to it is very tricky from this side when it's mounted, so it's almost like you have to pull it down and get at it a different way, as it's very dangerous. Here's a little wiring diagram I found, which is very helpful, pretty cool. This one I wound up not needing to change the capacitor. I'm going to show you what was going on. Finally got my hard drive up and running, but I also got struck with the flu, so I'm recovering from that, but wanted to bring back some new videos for you. So here's the capacitor all the way at the back of the machine. There's the neutral, and it has a bleed resistor that technically is supposed to discharge the capacitor on its own, but for safety you'll want to discharge from the neutral to chassis ground using something like the insulated, holding only the insulated handle of a pair of pliers, and then bridging one lead from the neutral to chassis ground. Again, very dangerous because this is really tight quarters and very difficult to get back there. And as you can see, it's got a bit of protection on the capacitor itself, so nothing's touched by accident. So not the easiest thing to actually discharge. This one, I got a bit lucky in that what this has is a fuse on top, but it was hidden a little bit by some wiring leads. And what I figured out is that those wiring leads are insulated, so I could pull those off, and then actually that would disconnect power from the fuse at all, so that I could pull the fuse out or put the new fuse in. So problem was this one was a little tricky to get the fuse out, and once I did get it out, it's a 250 volt fuse. So I knew I had one in my shop somewhere, but was unable to locate it. It's one of those things that I rarely ever have needed to replace or change out, and so where it went to, I don't know. So here I was able to disconnect the other side, and that means there was no power to this little fuse board, so that made that a lot safer, and then was able to pull out the 250 volt fuse. I was unsuccessful in locating where my fuse was, and so I was racking my brain trying to find a fuse, and I remembered I had an ozone machine that had fuses and even had a spare fuse in the ozone machine, so I ran and found that. I did have a second microwave, but I was kind of saving the microwave for a plan B in case this one didn't work out. I didn't really want to change the capacitor on this one or the magnetron if it was something deeper. I just figured it's better and safer at that point just to change out the whole machine. It's not that it couldn't be done, but So this one I was hoping for the fuse. And the other machine, I would have just changed it out with that one. The problem was it was a different brand, and so it had a different profile. So the screws that go through the cabinet that mount it are all different. So it would have needed to be re-drilled, and then the bracket that holds it up to the wall on the back was different as well. So just kind of a train wreck. Finally got the fuse out there. Was able to test it with a continuity test. No continuity, so a bad fuse. Oh, this flu has been a bad one. It's a stomach flu, so thrown up and all kinds of fun. Had a high fever and no fun, but starve of flu, feed a cold. So, and the nauseousness actually passed today, but I'm just eating light foods, chicken noodle soup and light soup. So hopefully recover. Here's the ozone machine. Was able to pull the fuse out of, which seemed great. I was really happy about that until I realized I was only off by a few decimals. This was a 2.5 volt fuse, and I needed a 250 volt fuse. So yeah, not going to work. So I had to go to Plan B, which was the microwave, the other microwave. Fortunately had a unit that was getting remodeled, so the microwave was getting thrown out, and so I had been kind of saving it for a Plan B in case it didn't work out to change the whole microwave. But again, because the profile was different and because I tested the fuse was bad, I went with just changing the fuse. So here it is, getting into the machine a little bit more. So this one was part of a remodel, and I was going to save it for such an occasion if something went down or I needed one, then I would have a backup. Well, backup came a little early. So this one, the other one I think was a hot point. I think this one was a Frigidaire. So I was hoping that the fuse was going to be the same size, and also that it'd be a little bit easier to get to. And again, the same thing, capacitor holds a charge even after the power is disconnected, so this one can have a ton of voltage and a ton of kick, so gotta be real careful. Use the insulated tools and only touch the insulated portions, So here the fuse was right in front, which was nice. Able to pull it out nice and easy, and it was a 250 volt fuse. Yay. Yep, so now that this fuse control was separated from both sides, I was able to push the fuse right into place and then reconnect the wires. It kind of took the, made it a lot safer. Still dangerous, crazy dangerous. So in this particular model, the plate's supposed to go in first, and then the screw anchors to the plate. But I just wanted to check it out to make sure everything was good before I got carried away. So.
screws here. Let's see if it works. Good turn. Yeah. Got a rag wet, don't want to run it empty. Set the clock. It is 10:30, 4 o'clock. Let's just say 4. Oh, there's 4 minutes on the clock. Set clear. Go clock. 3:45. Set okay. 1 minute. We're back in business. Replace the fuse. It's hot. Fixed. Good deal.
Yep, got pretty lucky on this one that it was just the fuse. A lot of times with these, that's what it is. You know, the most often cause is someone leaves a fork on a plate or something by accident and microwaves it, and it shocks out and blows the fuse. It can also be a weak high voltage capacitor or a weak magnetron. In those instances, probably more cost effective just to replace the whole microwave. But you know, it's your call. But you know, so if this one had, if the fuse went out again, I would know that it's something deeper. But was happy to say that this one's working good and everything's back to normal on the microwave. And again, that's the most, you know, it happens either a bowl or something that's got metal in it, or a fork by accident, someone microwaving some leftovers or something. That's the usual culprit. Anyway, thanks for watching Kung Fu Maintenance. Over and out. Be careful out there. Stay safe. And I'll put links in the description for the tools as well as for some insulated gloves. They are kind of spendy, but it's better safe than extra crispy. So. A quick search on my YouTube channel of whatever your maintenance needs are. You should find a bunch of different material that'll be helpful to your maintenance needs.
Walking through this world, I can feel the pressure, but